Two ports could define strategic partnership in Asia and the Middle East. Look at this. Chabahar port in Iran. India has signed a 10-year deal with Iran to develop this port. And this. Gwadar port in Pakistan, specifically Balochistan, where China is investing and have operational control for 40 years. For each of these four nations that I've mentioned here, it is a matter to ensure trade ties and geopolitical alliance. First pitched in 2003, it took about 2 decades to reach this decision between India and Iran. In many ways, this is going to be a transit route that is being developed to carry Indian goods toward Afghanistan and Central Asia. But this port gives an opportunity to India to also avoid Pakistan's land route. Reports suggest that so far 2.5 million tons of wheat and 2,000 tons of pulses have already been shipped from India to Afghanistan through the Chabahar port. Under this new deal, India is planning to invest close to $370 million in total. So what is the breakup looking like? India Ports Global Limited, which is the IPGL, it's a state-owned company. It will operate a terminal at the Chabahar port for about 10 years and replace the previous short-term agreements. And then there are loans by India for projects around Chabahar port, like roads and railways network. So why am I making a comparison to Pakistan's Gwadar port? Gwadar is an all-season deep-sea port, which means large ships, cargo can get docked here, can get shipped from there. It is on the route to major oil trade and sea shipping routes. But the Gwadar port has not performed best to its ability. It's not been able to really leave a mark or has not been able to generate much for Pakistan's economy. And worse, the Gwadar port gives an edge to China toward the Arabian Sea and Pakistan. Chabahar can give a counterbalance to the Gwadar port. It can also give an alternative for China's Belt and Road Initiative to India. Chabahar port's location is the biggest advantage. It is the only Iranian port with direct access to the Indian Ocean. It is close to the landlocked countries like Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan. So they intend to use the Chabahar port to tap into the vast Indian market. It will also improve India's connectivity with Russia and Eurasia. And it will be a hope for improved diplomatic relations between India and Iran, of course. Now, my research suggests that India has already used the Chabahar port in 2021 to supply Iran with 40,000 liters of environment-friendly pesticide when they needed it to fight the locust attacks. Let me give you a side trivia here. The Chabahar port is located in the southeastern province, which is also called the Sistan-Balochistan region. It benefits Iran with improved road and port infrastructure for their own use and a steady supply from the Indian markets directly into Iran. And third and most important reason here, China's investments in Pakistan usually land up in debt and burden that Pakistan is unable to fulfill. In turn, it will have to follow China's other orders. India's investments are seen as a partnership always with an ally. Amid all of this, what was really interesting, that India-Iran deal is announced and a reaction comes in from the USA. USA State Department's deputy spokesperson said any entity considering business deals with Iran need to be aware of the potential risk of sanctions. When he was asked if the Chabahar port can become an exemption, the answer was no. So just like buying discounted oil from Russia during the war, despite Western nations' pressure, India has similarly decided to invest in this deal with Iran despite a sanction threat from the USA by the incumbent government.
And the port operations, we believe, will benefit the entire region. This is actually for everybody's benefit. I don't think people should take a narrow view of it, and they have not done so in the past. So if you look at even US's own attitude to Chabahar in the past, the US has been appreciative of the fact that Chabahar has a larger relevance.
So this is a developing story, and I will keep you updated, not just about the port, but the changing global dynamics as well. Thank you for watching.